Hello, I'm Nick Rikoski from Des Moines Metro Opera, and I am happy to say I'm with the Dialogues of the Carmelites cast today. Let's go around and introduce ourselves and say who we're singing.
Okay, my name is Jane Redding, and I'm Blanche de la Force.
My name is Sandra Kelly, and I'm the old prioress.
My name is Lindsay Ossie, and I am Sister Constance.
My name is Blythe Gassert, and I'm singing Mother Marie. I'm Brenda Harris, and I'm the new prioress.
Fantastic. So let's talk about dialogues for a little moment. This is, I would say, of the three, the least known that we're showing here at DMMO, only because it's the newest. It was written in the 1950s, and it continues to grow in popularity every year, but it is still, of the three, the least known. But incredibly powerful. What drew you to this project?
Oh, well, it's such a powerful story, I think, above all. I mean, as singers, I mean, you sing a lot of Poulenc sort of art song along your journey, and the opportunity to sing one of his operas is exciting and a challenge. It is called Dialogues of the Carmelites because primarily it's recitative-like throughout, with, you know, some lyrical moments, some parts more lyrical than others.
And really, it's the story of Blanche de
And
la
of
Force.
course, and not to mention, it's mainly about moi. So that's what drew me to it. So my name was up there.
And that's true. It is mainly Blanche's story, but it does have an exceptionally big cast and a rich cast.
It's an ensemble opera.
It's manipulative in the best sense of the word,
Okay.
like Puccini is. Like it moves you every single time. It makes you think about the plight, not only of these women, but it becomes incredibly topical too, I think, you know? There's not much difference. We still have religious persecution today, so it's an incredibly powerful story.
Yeah,
Yeah, it brings to mind what would you do if you were in a society that stripped you of the very purpose that you felt you were even born for? And do you just walk with your tail tucked under and in silence, or do you stand up for what you believe in? And they do, and they're willing to give their lives for it, and it's incredibly sobering.
And the way he chooses to edit the novella, you know, the way he puts everything, what he leaves out and what he leaves in is very interesting, I think. And so that by the time, the last scene is unbelievably powerful in the way he chooses to set it musically, I think. I only knew, I mean, I had seen this opera, but I only knew the sacred works of his. But of course the musical thematic material in this is all that, all the time. And of course the sacred writing fits perfectly because it's such a sacred piece. But I find it moving because I always feel like I'm in church, like every time I hear it begin. Even if we're in the scene at your house with your father or something, you know, it just feels like church music to me, which is awesome for the story as well. It's not necessarily religious principle. It is, of course, based on a religious principle, but it's about your principles. Yeah. It could be anything.
Your faith. I mean, everyone has some sort of faith, whether it is God or whatever.
Well, it's like you said, what if someone stripped you of whatever you thought you were born to do? What if someone said, you can't ever sing opera again? Just because the government said you couldn't.
Right.
How would you feel about that? Right?
And Blanche is sort of going back to the character, I mean, she's sort of in a double whammy in that she's aristocracy and, you know, and then in the convent as well. I mean, you know, and they both were being stripped. And she, in her character, which is a lot of the story follows her plight of horrible fear, and we follow Sister Constance, who is her name, her faith is constant, and her joy is constant. And then you have Mother Marie, who...
It's actually very similar to Blanche.
Yeah.
Similar background.
Further along the path.
Further along the path. But still really dealing with fear.
And then you have the ever wonderful Mother Superior, who can't wait for you to see Sandra die. We're just sorry she dies because, you know, she can't resurrect yet. It's just not in the storyline.
What's drawing me to the piece, mezzo mad scene or death scene, there's nothing better than that. So this is my debut in this role, and I've got to say it's a tremendous debut for me in the way that the music is so spectacular, and so is the direction of the characterization. I do hope that people, if they are coming to dialogues, that they do read somewhat of a synopsis or a libretto, because I think it would be quite drastic in a lot of ways for people to not expect what's coming at the end
Sure.
if they don't know
That's true.
what's coming
Right.
at the end.
Because there's a lot of foreshadowing that leads up to it.
And then also, you know, as you probably have put on the website, about the Reign of Terror,
Yeah.
you know, and context is our friend, of course.
But you know, it doesn't matter, I don't think from an artistic point of view, if you're doing Bohème or Dialogues or Norma, there's somebody out there who has never seen this thing, always. You have to think about that person, always. I mean, it can be incredibly daunting to do a Bohème, I think, because of what you just suggested. People have a concept about it. But still, the story of it is so perfectly fresh every single time. I never am ever. I mean, I went to the orchestra the other night and I got like all weepy in the fourth act. I've seen one like 8,000 times. So I don't think that is something that we should, or probably do even think about, you know. As Jane said, I think we do get a little bit of a break because when people come to this and there might be a slight concept choice or something, if they don't know the piece, then they're going to accept that maybe a little more quickly. But I still think we're looking at it every time like somebody's out there that doesn't know this piece and we have to tell the story.
Well, it's a great show, and I want to thank the brilliant cast of Dialogues of the Carmelites for A, being brilliant, and B, for speaking
You're
with me today
welcome.
well.
He's welcome.
It's going to be a great, great show. It starts in July, so that's Dialogues of the Carmelites. I'm Nick Rinkoski. This has been This Week at Des Moines Metro Opera. We'll see you next week at Des Moines Metro Opera.